Real life. Real stories. Let's see what's trending in Indianapolis. This is Paul Poteet on The Edge.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing.
I
That
think
is a
that's the
meme
Vogue.
right there.
Is that the Vogue? If you do that?
Yep, with a piece of paper and everything. That's how you do it.
Or is it like that?
And you look like a turkey now.
Well, I'll be screenshotting that.
And if you're going to draw a turkey, you always revert. If you're me, you always revert to elementary school. And you put the hand down and
Absolutely.
you trace around your hand. That's one of the earliest memories I have of elementary school. It's time to make a turkey. So put your hand down on a piece of cardboard paper.
My kids actually do the same thing, but they actually make little bats, and they do that kind of. I don't know how they do it, but they do it.
Do people still use cardboard paper, or is there some new something replaced cardboard
all the
paper?
same thing. It's all there. Nothing. And on top of that, they got the glue sticks that are great to eat too.
Oh, see, I never ate glue, but I would occasionally chew a crayon.
Oh, but which color?
Should we introduce who we're talking to now?
Oh,
Doesn't matter.
Oh,
Doesn't matter.
watchers and
Indianapolis.
listeners. Yeah, exactly. We have Paul Poteet on the edge today, and we just jumped right into
Weirdness.
regularly. Feels like we
Straight
have
to the content.
we were having a private conversation. We forgot that we were actually broadcasting to all these fine folk.
I had that problem a lot of times where I'll start to talk about something on the radio with somebody, and I can't remember if I've told them in real life or on the air because there's not much difference, and sometimes the
Everything bleeds
conversations.
over, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you forget. Did I share that with the class already or not?
And then you repeat yourself, and they all look
then you
at
repeat
you.
yourself, and people just say, "Oh, that poor old man." He's
Exactly.
repeating his stories.
See, there's a Sparks senile moment that's actually starting to coalesce here
You're
at
safe.
Sicer Teats.
You're safe here. It's okay. You will be taken.
You can tell us, Brittany. Does it happen at the office sometimes?
Just give me my warm milk and set me in the corner. I'm fine.
Come with me, sir. You're okay.
I'm great today. Look at my new hairdo, Brittany. I look great. We were in the green room before, and she said, "Oh, did you get a haircut?" No,
Your hair
I just
looks good.
I washed it about an
So
hour
to our
before.
Edge of Indy audience, we're presenting you the clean Paul Poteet.
Thank you very much. Sometimes on the radio, I'm too dirty, but I'm clean for you guys.
And I'm assuming we have some clean stories this week because honestly, what we've had over recent shows.
Yeah, these are pretty clean. You'll be happy to know that I turned down one that had to do with a guy shoplifting shrimp. Google it. So I'm not doing that one.
He's not out of Florida, is he?
Well, apparently he was out of shrimp.
Oh,
and he needed to get some out of the store. No,
in what way, shape, or form?
I decided to go with another list that I don't like. You know, I have a fetish for lists that I don't agree with, I guess, to bring to you. This is supposedly the best places to retire in America. Okay. From what is this, bank? Speaking of old people, I have to get my glasses out. I think this is Bankrate. Thank you. Bankrate.com.
Okay.
Their list of best places to retire in America. Now, I've actually heard number one is Pittsburgh, which I actually have had people tell me is a sleeper, that it's a really cool town. And then they have Pittsburgh. These are best places to retire, mind you. Pittsburgh, Boston, Los Angeles,
Really?
Denver, Providence, Rhode Island, Minneapolis, Tampa, I guess is the most obvious one in the top. Next to Phoenix is in the top 10, then Austin, Dallas, Raleigh, North Carolina, pretty. But then some of them are just like we rate Indianapolis. That's a lot of words there, I realize. But Indianapolis ranks lower than like Chicago or Los Angeles on this list of. And one of the reasons why, like versus LA, I believe they had our crime rate high, and maybe it's per capita or something. I don't know. Crime rate higher here. Our cost of living did not, compare favorably to
What the heck?
some
We
of these
ranked
cities.
46.
That can't be right.
Okay, but let's be honest. Would the two of you retire here?
Yes.
You would?
Yeah, I mean, I could see
Absolutely.
before retiring in Chicago in a heartbeat because I don't like cold weather. I'm like an iPhone, X. I don't perform well in cold weather. But
Too soon, man. Too soon.
yeah, but they're fixing it. Don't worry. If you spend another $1,000, everything will be great. But
Wow.
I don't think I would retire here.
Really?
It's too cold. It's no, you.
so
no.
where would you go south then?
Yeah, I
but
would
would
go
you-
south.
But would you go to L.A.? Would that
No,
be like
no.
the first thing that jumps into your mind? I don't. We'll post. We have a link to these every week when we post these. So
I'm committed to the Indiana and Indianapolis
forever and ever and ever
audience, and I will absolutely retire here.
Your equity is with
exactly.
With the audience.
I don't know
here.
where Brittany is.
I support you, but not forever time.
Not forever time.
She'll be in Oklahoma City,
No, I'll be in
Hartford, Connecticut,
Savannah, Georgia. That's
with
where I
her
would go.
with her Indianapolis pennant flag. Yay!
Is Savannah on there?
Savannah. Now, I don't see that one on there. They do say the cost of living here, they call it very low, but then they also call it very low in some places, where you wouldn't think that it's very low. So, I don't know. Just L.A. and Chicago, I just don't see, how many people do you know that have the winter home in Chicago? It just didn't make any sense to me.
I love that balmy lake effect.
That's right. I want 50, 60, 70 inches of snow. 26 inches here in Indianapolis per season on average is not enough. So
no offense, future Edge of Chicago watchers. Just saying.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, we all, I'm sure, have contacts in Chicago. I've done, voiceover projects for radio stations, whatever, ad agencies in Chicago, but I do them from Indianapolis.
From your southern home.
If this keeps up, I mean, can we trust any list? I mean, what about that Blake? What about that Blake Shelton thing? Is that real?
Yes.
No.
I love Blake Shelton.
You did that. You did that deliberately,
Thanks,
Paul.
I may have slipped that in there just to be a topical tie. So you approve then?
Blake Shelton is a national treasure. He is just the best of everything ever. And I've met him, and he's very nice, and he thinks I'm very tiny.
That's a compliment.
I mean, isn't it a safe bet that like any given country star you meet is going to be not? I did the when I was with Channel 6, we had every year. I think they still run it on ABC. They run those the awards. They just had them. What are those called, Brittany?
The CMAs.
CMAs. Mm-hmm. And we would do like a big, pre-primetime live show on the red carpet.
Right.
So I got to talk to a lot of these people for a couple of years, and they're all nice. I mean, they're all. But you say he's super nice.
Oh, he
except
is
for Blake. He's
just
super
the best
nice.
in the entire world. Oh, just tall and handsome and just perfect.
Really? He's tall?
Wow.
He doesn't.
Oh,
he doesn't
no, he's like 6'7". He's very tall.
It's so hard to tell height when you only see people on like TV. People are always just say to me, "Oh, you're taller than I thought you would be." So I didn't think he was tall.
No, he is tall. When I walked in, he goes, "You are tiny." I'm like, "Well,
did he say it like that?
Yeah, he did.
You are tiny.
Yep.
You are tiny.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is Aaron still here?
Yeah, I honestly, I'm taking a break.
Thanks, Paul.
So you do agree with that particular
Yes, I do.
list? That's good. Okay, good, very good.
Speaking,
Shout out to Blake.
Speaking of a blonde moment.
I didn't want to make the. It may have buzzed through my head there. That little
I'm not making any type of reference or content. I'm just saying, wow, there's another story here, which is interesting.
Now this though is about a ditzy person. We probably don't know anybody.
Nobody here,
like
absolutely.
That. But she is a teacher in Arkansas. She was involved in a little.
I'm going to set you both on fire, but go on.
I'm in her blood circle right now, so I got to be careful.
I'm from a safe distance.
Paul, protect yourself from the lasers right now.
This is the beauty of years of sidekicking via remote. Not being in the same studio with people.
Yeah, she's going to cut me, man. I gotta.
Trust me, it lasts longer if you're not in the same room. That's why I refuse to be in the same room with you guys.
Oh wow!
This is a woman in Arkansas. So she's involved in a little insurance fracas, and the insurance adjuster says, "Well, we're going to need pictures to settle this claim. We're going to need pictures of the front and the side. Some pictures from the front and the side."
Yep.
So
and look at what she did.
She submitted photos of, scroll down. This is, by the way, Alyssa Stringfellow.
That's her front.
And
they're her side shots.
Oh, dear. Oh, Alyssa.
Every time I see that, it makes me laugh.
She's so happy about it, too. And that's the thing.
That was like her best foot forward. Like,
oh, it was. That was a great pose there.
oh, Alyssa.
And she God love her. I guess she had the sense of humor to actually share this with the class. And she also shared the note from her insurance agent. It said, "Hi, Alyssa. I am going to need pictures just like you took, except it needs to be of your vehicle." Winky face or smiley face, whatever.
Oh my God.
That will allow me to put full coverage on your Kia and then add to your policy where we insure you for walking across the street on any given day.
Oh, Alyssa. Good luck.
And
Good luck,
and
dear.
the fact that it's now on the internet, just own it, Alyssa. Just own it.
Would, if that happened to you, would you tell a soul? I mean, if that happened to me, that's going into the vault.
Gosh, that is,
She and I, right. I mean, that's the only reason. But it's not like the person from, who was it? Was it
insurance company?
Yeah, it didn't say which insurance company. It's not like, you post that.
Yeah,
Wow.
but
Very good
they
client.
had a good laugh at the office that day, the insurance office.
Oh,
They
but
got,
even
know.
if she hadn't posted it, like every insurance
Yes.
adjuster in the country is going to be, hearing about this story forever and ever.
That's awesome. And she owned it to the degree. She said it was such a blonde moment, but it has given so many people a laugh. I don't care anymore. That's awesome.
I know, but what was she telling her? Like, what logically? Like, okay, my car, I need to take. I'm gonna take some pictures straight on of myself to send to a car. Like, what?
Maybe if it was like life insurance, if you were buying some sort of health insurance, maybe. Well, God knows the pictures you'd send then. But
maybe she's just trying to make sure that they know that she's
She's a conscientious. Look at me, I'm so conscientious.
Or you got to prove you are who you say you are. Therefore, I don't know.
And you wonder, and people think that Mark Zuckerberg wasn't that was that story in the news about Facebook? Some theory they had where if they requested nudes from you, then they would know when somebody was.
Yeah. I heard that too.
Yeah, and you think, well, nobody's ever going to send them nude photos, and then you think, well, maybe they would.
It's like an effort to make sure that if somebody who's not you submits naked pictures of you, that they can like shut it down because it didn't get. It's really weird. It makes no
Give me the
actual
logic
sense.
again.
Okay, the logic is they're trying to prevent somebody who is not you from submitting pictures of you naked.
Okay.
And posting them.
Okay.
But like the revenge porn stuff. So
language.
They're saying, sorry. So they are requesting that you would send naked pictures of yourself
proactively
to Facebook
to make sure,
so that if that picture comes across again, they can be like, no, that's Aaron's picture.
You've got to be kidding me.
No.
I know. No way.
Do we put our best foot forward in that shot too? Do you need the front shot, the side shot?
Dear Mr. Zuckerberg,
is there recognition software?
I don't know. Oh my gosh. Stop. Next, Paul. Next, quickly. Next.
Apparently, in Hollywood, they could use that as a recognition software. That's another story. Okay, story number 3.
I'm sorry. Oh my God.
We're going to finish with, and you'll be happy to know I'm not so cheap that I made this number 2, but story number 3 has to do with a police interrogation in Kansas City. This is serious stuff. I mean, the guy is charged with drug offenses and gun offenses, but then another offense entered the story.
Yep.
The police investigation ended prematurely when an investigator was driven from the room by the suspect's excessive flatulence.
Oh my gosh. That's like a defensive.
I don't think they actually put up yellow tape. I think that might be Shutterstock file footage there. 24-year-old Sean Sykes, quote, I love police when they fill out their paperwork, quote, leaned to one side of his chair and released a loud F-A-R-T before answering. The Kansas City Star reports that Sykes continued to be flatulent, and the detective was forced to quickly end the interview.
Oh, that's amazing.
What is wrong with people?
Right. Yeah.
Well, he's like raising up a stink cloud, so he doesn't.
It's like we're looking Pigpen from Peanuts, is in the stir.
I mean, it's almost like he's got a white stripe. He's got some sort of defensive posture.
Can you imagine having to share a cell with him, too?
Oh, my gosh.
That would be the worst.
Oh, people.
He appeared in court last Monday and was charged with being just disgusting.
Gross.
Gross negligence.
Oh, my gosh.
Charged with being a felon in possession, 3 firearms possession with intent to sell cocaine. So, I mean, you can get out of the interrogation, but you can't get out of the charges. But it is worth noting that in America, you do have the right to be silent but deadly.
Okay. Oh. That was a creeper right there.
I have nothing.
Oh.
Good. Hopefully you have nothing to add.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, so that is what we found just tiptoeing over the edge of the internet this week for you, Indianapolis.
And the gaseous clouds that are there. All right. Speaking of clouds.
I don't have that on my charts for the next 2 days.
Oh, let's have a look.
Here is the forecast for the next 7 days in Indianapolis, and it takes a turn. The atmosphere is moving very quickly. The weather systems are in, sometimes they, generally are moving faster than other times. In the middle of summertime, we can have the same pattern for like a couple of weeks, but not right now. Spring and fall get busy. So that's why Tuesday was so beautiful. It was nice. And today's dreary again. Tomorrow should be beautiful, although a little cooler. Friday might be a sleeper. You might be able to squeeze in some outdoor time then, because those showers and storms are just a slight chance in the afternoon and a bigger chance Friday night into Saturday morning. Big time cold front. So upper 50s Saturday, probably falling into the low 50s by the afternoon, and then it keeps on falling. Another hard freeze Sunday morning, and then Sunday just the mid 30s. Good news is I was just looking ahead to like the day before Thanksgiving, Wednesday and Thursday of next week, and it does look pretty quiet then. So it might be on the cool side, but no huge. In the eastern part of the country, at least, it doesn't look like any huge travel problems if you're going over the river, et cetera, to the woods.
that really doesn't work well with my hunting schedule. I need it a little bit cooler. Can you actually turn down?
Sir, shut your mouth. We don't need it any cooler.
Does it make any difference? I mean, if it's 55 as opposed to 35, does it make that much difference?
You better believe it.
Oof. Yeah.
And I need a little snow on the ground too, please.
Well, again, I hope you're not using the iPhone X for any hunting apps. While you're out there.
Snow's great for hunting. It's wonderful.
It's not good for driving, though.
No, but I'm not driving. I'm in a tree for 8 hours.
So we're not doing snow.
We're not doing snow. All right. Not doing snow.
Winter is great if you just sit there and don't do anything in the middle of it. It's when you're trying to do something in winter that it gets in the way.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Just don't do anything.
That's why I'm retiring to Chicago.
Yeah.
Stupid list.
Oh, man. Well, Paul, that was fantastic. And we're going to have a surprise for our audience here next week. We're going to actually have your segment in studio as well. So
I was just kidding about never being there in person, apparently.
Yeah, see, I'm putting you on the spot here. And make sure that there's no flatulent stories that can either be coming with you or happen at the event.
On me.
Yeah. I'm thinking.
Make sure you shower.
Yeah, so my hair looks good.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
You shouldn't have to worry. I'll still be 24 hours out from stuffing at that point. So.
Oh, see, yeah.
All should be good.
Fantastic.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Well, those are the stories from the edge.
He just snorted. He
Paul,
actually just snorted.
He really did. I was ignoring it. You had to bring my attention to it. I'm just going to step over that one. How do they find you in your...
in my universe, my constantly expanding universe, much like a gaseous
There it is.
substance.
See, I was really trying to tee that one up, and he just took a swing at it.
No.
You can find what in the world I'm doing at paulpoteet.com. PaulPoteet.com.
And also follow him on Twitter with the same handle because he's churning up fun tidbits all the time.
I'm going to be posting pictures of Blake Shelton all Wednesday night, so I'll see you online then for the latest.
Blake Shelton wake behind Paul.
You're a tiny little girl, aren't you? I'll see y'all later.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye now.